Welcome to Lesson 5. In this lesson, we will learn how to play the correct pitch on your saxophone mouthpiece. You will need your saxophone mouthpiece fully assembled and a mirror. Also, please make sure that you have watched Lesson 4, where I teach you how to form the correct embouchure before attempting this lesson. You will also need a tuner that will show you what pitch you are playing. So I'm going to show you my tuner that I use. It's on my iPad and my iPhone, and it works on Android too, I believe. But the Tuner Lite, I'm going to try to position it here so you can see it. The Tuner Lite app is the app that I really like to use because it's a free app. And you can see that there's one that's a paid app. It's $4.99, I think, but the other one is a free app, and you can actually use the free app perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine for a beginner. So it's called Tuner Lite by Score. And so I use that app on my smartphone, and I use it on my tablet. Most of the time I use it on my smartphone. And it's a free tuner app that will do exactly what you need as a beginner. However, you can use any tuner you would like to use. If you want to use a standalone tuner that is not a smartphone or tablet app, I would recommend the Korg. It's spelled K-O-R-G. The Korg TM60 is a tuner metronome combo, and you can find it on Amazon for a very reasonable price. It has a built-in microphone that will work for the saxophone. Many guitar tuners won't work for the saxophone because they do not have an external microphone. Go ahead and look at your mirror and your tuner. So here's the tuner app up close, and this works best when you have your tuner and also your mirror so you can see your embouchure, but your tuner positioned like this on your music stand. And when you form your embouchure and you breathe and you blow the air through the mouthpiece, your tuner should say the letter A if you're an alto saxophone. If you're a tenor saxophone, it should say the letter G. And if you're a baritone saxophone, it should say the letter D. If you're a soprano saxophone, your tuner should say the letter C. And the way that you get the tuner to operate is you hit this little tuning fork right here. And notice how A popped up first, but it's registering a bunch of different notes and letters. So you're going to read the letter here, okay? And if you're an alto saxophone, you want it to say A right here. If you're a tenor saxophone, you want it to say G right here. And if you're a baritone saxophone, you want it to say the letter D right here. And if you're a soprano saxophone, you want it to say the letter C right here. Okay, and in the middle, if this little arm that's going back and forth is directly in the middle, then that means you're absolutely perfectly in tune. But as you start, it's okay for it to, kind of waver back and forth as long as you can consistently get the note that you're supposed to be playing, the letter to register right here, okay? Don't worry about any of the numbers beside the letter or the note, it's fine. First, I will demonstrate on an alto saxophone mouthpiece, and then I will demonstrate on a tenor saxophone mouthpiece. If you're playing a soprano or a baritone saxophone, you'll be able to learn by watching me demonstrate on the alto and tenor saxophone mouthpieces. The mouthpiece sound is going to be loud, but don't be afraid of it. You should play loudly and confidently on the mouthpiece. Please pause, rewind, and watch this video as many times as you need for you to feel confident that you are doing it correctly. First, I will demonstrate on the alto mouthpiece and show you how to do a siren. So, of course, you set your embouchure, like we talked about in the previous videos. Top T. Lip over your bottom teeth. Up and around. if you're not that flexible right now, it's okay. Just try to do the siren on your mouthpiece, and I'll demonstrate on a tenor mouthpiece. Also, you notice my tenor mouthpiece has what we call a Rovner ligature. Okay, and this is a great ligature to use. It's fine. If you have a Rovner ligature, then the screws should actually be in the top right. So it should be on the top right. It shouldn't be like this one, where the screws are on the bottom left. Okay, so on the Rovner ligature, the leather ligature like this one, the screw is on the top right. Okay, so I'm going to do a siren on the tenor mouthpiece. And again, if you're not that flexible yet, it's okay. But just try it and see how close you can get to what I was doing there. Also, remember, if your tongue is touching the reed, then you will not hear any sound. You have to move your tongue down and away from the reed so the reed can vibrate. So some of my students have attempted this exercise and they've done something like this. So when I released my tongue, all of a sudden you heard the sound. But a lot of students will leave their tongue right there on the reed, and the reed must vibrate in order to make the sound. So you have to move your tongue and get it down below your bottom teeth and the bottom of your mouth. Did you hear when I put my tongue on the reed? You couldn't hear the sound stopped. Now we're going to learn how to play the A on the alto saxophone mouthpiece. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate playing the A. You should see A on the tuner here. Did you see how I was able to keep the letter right here registering an A? The arm was going kind of up and down, but I was able to keep the tuner registering on an A. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to keep blowing my air for 5 seconds, and I want the tuner to keep on an A for 5 seconds. So I'll demonstrate. Okay, so if the tuner is saying a note that is above the 0, then you're going to need to loosen your corners and open your teeth. Okay, so basically what's happening is if the tuner is saying a B or a C, then your bottom lip is pushing into the reed. Okay, so this is probably what you're going to find at first. You're probably going to have this. Okay, did you see what happened? It went to a B and then it went up to a C. So that's too high, and what's causing that is your bottom jaw and your bottom lip is pushing up on the reed, and it's pushing it up and squeezing the reed. So your chin and your bottom lip and your bottom teeth need to pull down, and that way you'll be able to get the A. And also, if the tuner is saying a note that is below the 0, maybe it's not an A, maybe it's going down to a note that's lower than that, you need to firm up your corners. So maybe it's not playing an A, maybe it's going down to a G. So did you see how it started low, down on an F, then went up to a G? If you're down in that range on the alto mouthpiece, then you just simply need to firm up your corners. Make your corners more firm. But most of you are going to have the problem of it being too high. of the note going up to a B or a C. Now we are going to learn how to play the G on the tenor saxophone mouthpiece. So again, we want to keep blowing the air for 5 seconds so the pitch lasts for 5 seconds. If the tuner is saying a note that is above the G, remember we're pushing up too much with our teeth right here and our bottom lip. So here's the G on the tenor saxophone mouthpiece, and watch the tuner here. So I held the G for about 5 seconds, and you saw the little arm go up and down a little bit. It started below a G, and I watched the tuner. And again, if you start below the G, all you need to do is, or if you start below whatever note is the note you're supposed to be playing, all you need to do is firm up your corners, okay? So now I'm going to demonstrate what happens when your bottom lip and your bottom teeth apply pressure and push upwards on the reed. So that's going to go from a G upwards to an A. Okay, did you see how the pitch went up? And my ideal note that I need was a G, and it went up to an A. Now the musical alphabet actually goes from A to G. So then it starts back over at A. So in the musical alphabet, right here, A is actually above G. If some of you are confused about why I'm saying A is above G, then that's why, because the musical alphabet goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats to A, B, C, D, F, G again. Now, if you are an alto saxophone, I want you to play your mouthpiece pitch for 5 seconds while you look at your tuner. Ready? Go ahead and play your mouthpiece pitch. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, did your tuner say a note that is above an A? Did your tuner say the letter B or C? If your tuner said the letter B or C, then your bottom teeth and bottom lip are pushing up and biting into the reed. Remember, your bottom lip should stop going up once it touches the reed, and there should not be any biting like this. Your bottom teeth and your top teeth should not be closing toward each other. They should stay open and apart from each other while the corners of your mouth stay firm. So I'm going to demonstrate on my alto saxophone mouthpiece, and I'm going to hold the tuner so you can see the pitch. So here we go. I'm going to do exactly what you're probably doing right now, and biting with the embouchure, making the A actually go up to a B or C. Okay, so my bottom lip and my teeth were coming together, causing that pitch to go from an A up to a B or C. So remember how we did in the previous lessons. We set our embouchure, top teeth on the mouthpiece, upper lip resting down, and then our bottom lips over our bottom teeth, and we started with our jaw down. And we slowly moved our jaw up until our bottom lip touched the reed, and then we stopped moving our bottom jaw or our bottom lip up. And then we close our corners around. And notice how my chin is down and my bottom lip is not pushing up into the reed. So here's what it looks like. If your bottom lip pushes up on the reed, then the reed is being pushed up by your bottom teeth and your bottom lip, and it's closing like this. It's causing the pitch to go up. So this right here has to stay down. You cannot push this up and your teeth up into the reed. Now, if you are a tenor saxophone, I want you to play your mouthpiece pitch now, and we're going to hold it for 5 seconds while you look at your tuner and you're trying to make your tuner say G. Ready? Go ahead and play your tenor saxophone mouthpiece for 5 seconds. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did your tuner say a note that is above a G? Did your tuner say the letter A? Or did your tuner say the letter B? Now remember, the musical alphabet goes from A to G and then starts over back to A. So if you're a tenor saxophone and your tuner says G, you are good. But if your tuner says A or B, you are too high, and this means your bottom teeth and bottom lip are pushing up and biting into the reed. Remember, your bottom lip should stop going up once it touches the reed, and there should not be any biting. Your bottom teeth and top teeth should not be closing towards each other like this. Remember, they should stay open and apart from each other, while the corners of your mouth stay firm. So I'm going to demonstrate on my tenor saxophone mouthpiece, and I'm going to hold the tuner so you can see the pitch. So tenor saxophones, here's our mouthpiece. We're going to blow our G, hopefully. Okay, now remember, if you didn't see a G on your tuner, if it went up to an A or B like this, then you have too much pressure with your bottom lip and your bottom teeth pushing upward. Too much pressure on the reed, okay? So here's one more time. Here's what we want to do. We want to play the G. And again, if the mouthpiece pitch registers lower than a G, maybe down around an F, then that just means your corners are too loose and you need to firm up your corners. Corners too loose. And I simply firmed my corners up until I reach the G. If you are a baritone saxophone, your tuner should say the letter D, and if you are a soprano saxophone, your tuner should say the letter C. Please don't worry or get frustrated if you are unable to get the correct pitch on your tuner. Most of the time, this will not happen right away, and in fact, it takes several days or weeks of practicing, and you will need to watch this video most likely several times to get it. This is normal, and it is okay to go on to the next lesson even if you are not able to play the mouthpiece pitch perfectly yet. Just please revisit this lesson and keep trying and attempting and watching me, and eventually you're going to get the right mouthpiece pitch.